Hi Neha, welcome. You're a brand new Hay House author, and so what I want to do is introduce everybody to you, and so kind of tell your story and how you began and where you are today. So if you could just tell everyone how you got started here, why you're sitting here with me today.
A small question.
Yeah.
Sure. I began my training many years ago. I went into mechanical engineering. I was a little overachiever, so I went into biomedical engineering as well. And then I realized I wanted to go on to medical school. And my parents came over from India, and so they really, really highly valued and drove education. And once I went through my training, I came out at 31 years old. I'm an internal medicine physician. And in that whole experience, I was getting, subtle signals from my body that I just ignored. Mountain Dew, candy bars, they can take care of them. So but through that whole training, I just felt like there was great knowledge in it, but that I didn't really feel a really true deep connection to solving some of the root problems that I was experiencing. So as I went through and I would listen to all my patients, they would say things to me like, well, doc, I'm feeling better now. I was a hospital doctor. And so they'd say, oh, I'm feeling better now. But how am I going to go back home? It's an awful environment. And I think that's what made me sick in the first place. And I started realizing as I began asking them questions that there was something else that they needed for their healing than I could give them in a prescription pad. And so that started my inquisitive nature and my journey. Meanwhile, I was having massive throat constriction that I was convinced had an underlying medical cause of being a mass. And so I talked two different doctors that were GI doctors to put me under anesthesia twice, not once, twice, because I was convinced I had throat cancer. And both of them, after I was done, one at a time, about 2 years apart, said to me, there's nothing wrong with you. You look great. Do you have some stress in your life? And I think it was that moment that I really realized that I wasn't paying attention to me. I was so absorbed in caring for my patients and caring about, getting an education to please my parents and please the Indian community. I was such a good child, good Indian child. And what I realized in that moment was who was taking care of me. And that was my responsibility. So my patients taught me that. And what I realized was, oh yeah, this is stress. Like, I'm not sure that I'm aligned with my calling. And now it's time to figure out what that is. And so I went on about an 8-year journey where I just took workshops and immersed myself in learning about communication. And I came back and I started asking my patients questions. So I would ask them, once we got them medically stable, I would ask them questions like, why you? Why a stroke? Why now in your life? What do you need to heal? And if you could speak from the heart, what would you say to me? So I'd ask them the night before I discharged them. And in the morning, the most profound answers would come out of them. And, I didn't ask them these questions because I thought they were to blame for their illness. It was more like we had stabilized them. And it was about learning, what's the message that's coming from me, from my own body to me, and what do I need to heal this? So it was about curiosity.